use the raised hand function, and we can call on you after we talk to the folks, after we get questions from the people here in Austin. Right now, we're ready to start our post-game press conference with University of Utah. Coach Roberts, if you could just give us an opening statement, please.
Hi, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Incredibly proud of my team for the season that we had. You know, I told them after the game that, you know, sometimes you just have to give the other team credit. I thought Texas played just incredibly well. And, you know, I've watched so much film on them, and that's the best I've seen them shoot, at least in the games I saw. You know, you kind of have to pick your poison with them. And we, you know, kind of wanted them to take long contested twos to try to eliminate easy baskets around the rim and, you know, kick out threes. But, man, they made shots. And so, you know, whether that was our defense or their, like, whatever, you know, you just have to tip your hat. They did a phenomenal job today. They were really, really good. And they shoot like that, the way they defend, they're going to be really hard for anyone to beat. So congratulations to them on their game today, obviously, and wish them nothing but the best in the rest of the tournament. As far as our team went, you know, today was not our best day. We certainly missed the size of Peyton McFarland today inside our other center. We were a little outmatched there. But I am incredibly proud of our team. We're so young. Our culture is fantastic. Our kids are bought in. They play super hard. They're coachable. And, you know, I told them afterwards, too, they should be upset. They should be disappointed, but time will give perspective on what we achieved this year. And I'm excited to, you know, see what we can do in the future. But I don't want to move on too quickly. I think these guys deserve to enjoy the season we had. And, you know, only one team ends up not bummed in this tournament at the end. So, you know, painful today, but so proud of my players.
Coach, thank you so much. We're going to direct the questions now to the players. First question will come from front row here, please. Mark Rosner from the Associated Press, front row. Thank you.
Kennedy, what happened? You guys had a lot of good looks in the first quarter, and then they kind of shut that off. What changed?
Yeah, I think they're a great defensive team. We talked about that. That's what they take pride in, and we knew that coming in. So I think we started the game well, and so, yeah, coming back out after halftime, they definitely took away looks. And second quarter, we had a little bit of a rough second quarter, and I think they just hound down on their defense. So I think that's where we struggled a little bit, but, yeah, I think that's where it changed.
And I think, too, I'll add, you know, in the second quarter, we were right there, and then we had 3 turnovers in a row, and then suddenly it was like bang, 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 and, you know, then we're down 10 or whatever. So it just kind of happened fast, and then we were in a bit of a deficit.
Next question, please.
Danielle Lerner with the Houston Chronicle. Drew, it seemed like Texas in the second half was able to kind of speed you guys up a little bit at times, maybe with their pressure and force you guys to play a little rushed and hurried. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, I think we started off the game very well as far as pressure-wise. I think those first couple of minutes we really got reversals and we're getting wide open shots. Maybe we didn't make them all the time, but we were in control. And then I think that second half, yeah, maybe they just got into our heads a little bit and we were trying to do a little too much. As far as we just wanted somebody to make a play and kind of relying on other people to do stuff and kind of got away from what we do best. But I think as far as a team and playing a team like Texas, we, for the most part, did really well. And like Coach Rob said, we're a very young team. So I was so proud of how our team handled it and just kept fighting and never gave up until the end of the buzzer. So.
Next question, please. Back row.
Lauren Moses from Valley Sports. Drew, what are you taking away from this experience? Obviously, you've had the most experience on the team from not only this tournament, but just your experience overall at Utah and kind of what you might have learned from Coach here that you plan to take on with you.
Yeah, it's just been awesome. I think coming into college, you never know what to expect, and as a young freshman, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get able to play. I'm just gonna have the best. Like you just came out of high school, you think you're just the best person ever, and then when you get to college, it's just learning and growing as a person and as a player. And I think Coach Rob is so good at that. Just kind of bringing her under her wing, and she's gonna yell at you, she's gonna get after you, but at the end of the day, it makes you a better person. And I think just as my career here at Utah, like the way that the team has just played this year and we've all come together and put those puzzle pieces to where they're supposed to fit, I think it was just an amazing month, I'd say. Our Pac-12 tournament was so fun. That's kind of what you dream of, upsetting people and just making a run and having everybody come together and cheer for you. And then obviously this tournament, just not necessarily just showing up and being grateful to be here, but beating Arkansas by pretty convincingly, and then today just playing Texas to the end. It's just been so amazing, but it's all come together, and my teammates, I just give them so much credit. We have so much fun on and off the court, and I give credit to them.
Next question, gentleman in the back row, please.
Kennedy, kind of that same question, your perspective on this season kind of as a whole, and what Utah fans can look forward to moving ahead.
Yeah, I hate to talk about last season, but just seeing the season that we had and just seeing what I personally and I think everyone took away what they need to get better at. And we knew at the end of the season last year that we were not going to have a season like that again. Everyone was very determined for that, to make that happen. And so I think starting in summer workouts, you could just tell it was going to be a special year. Everyone was so determined, brought in great freshmen and their impact that they had. And I think everyone learned from each other and got better every day. So, yeah, I think we definitely turned it around, and the season was a blast. Definitely a highlight for me, too, was the Pac-12 tournament. That was super, super fun, and being able to experience this and be a part of March Madness. But we'll be back.
We'll go to the last row question, and then we'll come up here to Kirk Bowles from the Austin American Statesman. Go ahead.
Lauren Moses, Valley Sports. Drew, Coach, I know something that I always, every time I've been at one of the press conferences, you always thank the media for being here, which I really appreciate, because when I was playing, our coaches never did that. It's just not something I've heard about. But Drew, how have you, or your experience playing these 4 years, how have you kind of seen the trajectory of the women's game grow? How have you maybe seen like more recognition of Utah women's basketball and other women's basketball programs around the country?
Yeah, totally. Definitely coming in as a freshman, I know Coach Rob and I talk about this all the time, is we wanted to do something that Utah hasn't done in the past, and we want to pack the Huntsman and get a lot of people to support women's basketball. And I think just our administration and our coaches, they're always on that to get people to show up to our games. And this year, I think having a year like COVID kind of hurt that a little bit, but I think having all the people of Salt Lake watching us play this year and just the style that we play is so it's just so fun, and you get so many fans involved, and it's been so cool just to watch it grow and grow and grow, and I don't see that changing anymore. I see the change. It's definitely going to happen more in the future, because we just play such a cool style of basketball, and it's fun. Even with just this representation of having March Madness for women's basketball, I think there's only room for growth, and I think it's going to come in the future, so it's really awesome.
We'll take our final question for the student athletes from Kirk Bowles, Austin American Statesman.
Yeah, for both of you ladies, I'm curious if y'all expect Texas to make a deep run the rest of the tournament, and how would you compare them to Stanford, which I know y'all have had some trouble with, and they beat Stanford earlier?
Yeah, I think we have to give props to Texas. They played such a great game today, and they're very athletic, and they know how to play well as a team. But I do think playing in the Pac-12, we're always going to support the Pac-12. We love our conference, and we're the conference of champions. And Stanford is so, so good. They have a very good coach, and they play also well as a team. So if Texas does make it any farther, it will be a good matchup against Stanford if they win too. But I'm always a big supporter of the Pac-12, and we got to back the Pac.
Yeah, I echo that. I'm not sure what else to add to that. That was great.
Don't answer that.
All right, I think that we'll conclude the press conference with Drew and Kennedy. Thank you so
Nice
much
job,
for
you
joining
guys.
us, and congratulations on a great season, young ladies.
Good job.
All right, questions for Coach, please.
Lynn, I know you mentioned the 3 turnovers, which was a key, but there was also a sequence when they missed free throws, got the rebound.
Yeah.
Can you just discuss kind of how that was kind of a almost symbolic of the game without having
Well, it was at a
Peyton in it?
pivotal point, and there was a, one of those bang calls where Aaliyah Moore caught it at the right elbow and attacked, and I thought Jenna Johnson got in front of her, had legal guarding position. Moore lowered her shoulder, and made it, and those are hard plays to officiate. Those are tough calls that went against us. Then it went to a media timeout, and then they came out and got 2 offensive rebounds on free throws, and that was just kind of a momentum killer on some level with the timeout. And so yeah, I do think there was, for whatever reason, and that's how games work. There's just some things can trigger runs for reasons that you can't really explain. But if you look at our shooting percentage, we shot 51%. That's pretty good. But the problem is that it comes down to chances, and we always talk about that. The opportunities, we need to have more opportunities than, because we can score it, we can shoot it. But, we only had 2 offensive rebounds, and we turned it over 19 times. So those are missed opportunities for us to get a good shot up, and their pressure is very good. But I felt like when we got a clean look, we were able to, shoot for percentage. But on the other side, they shot 85% in the second quarter. I mean, that's just incredible. And then they shot 64% from the game. And yes, I don't think our defense was as tough as it needed to be, as physical as it needed to be. But I also think good offense beats good defense, and they were feeling it today.
Next question, Danielle Lerner from the Houston Chronicle.
64%, by the way, is a season high for Texas this season, field goal percentage.
Feels like it, yeah.
But there was one point where they hit 16 shots in a row from the end of the second quarter into the end of the third quarter. Like, what are you thinking as a coach during that streak? And did you see them doing different things, or was it just kind of like hammering their mid-range spots over and over?
Yeah, some of it was missed assignments. We had a game plan, and it's a tough place to play. There's a lot of people, and sometimes things can snowball a little bit. I've been on the other side of those runs, and the rim just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and everybody in the crowd gets into it, and everybody's just feeling it. We tried to go zone, and they just kind of picked it apart and made shots, and it was tough. It's kind of like, we needed to find something, and I thought our defense was much better in the fourth quarter. We were just more physical and aggressive, but the damage had been done.
Mark Rosner, Associated Press.
Got one day between games. How do you, can you simulate, practice against that type of defense they play? Is there a way to?
No, but I mean, they're very big and athletic, but we've got some great teams in the Pac-12 that defend, and Arizona's one of them. Very similar defensively. For me, I think the turnovers hurt us. That they were able to get out and go, especially in that second quarter. But we ran some backdoor stuff that worked, and yeah. No, I mean, and to answer your question, is there any way to simulate that in practice the day before? No. But just like they can't simulate our offense the day, it's a lot of film, mental reps, physical, like walk-through stuff. So.
Kirk Bowles, Austin American-Statesman, with the next question.
Do you want to answer the weak link question?
I mean, today there wasn't any weak links. That's all I can answer. I mean, that's all I know. I haven't, being in a different conference, being the first time we've played them, they didn't seem to have any today. That's the honest truth.
And y'all went 0-3 against Stanford, I think, this year. And
Thank you, yes.
Sorry. Before a great finish and
Thank
a
you.
wonderful season.
Thank you,
For which you're to be commended.
Yes, thank you.
They have that look now of a complete team. They beat Baylor to win the Big 12 tournament. Obviously, they're kind of hitting their stride. I wondered if you'd see any similarities between them and Stanford, who would be in their way.
Yeah. Stanford's legit. I mean, and they are the defending national champion. Until someone beats them, they still are the national champion. They are so well coached, and they're a machine. That's the best way, you know. I think what makes them great, I think they're actually better than they were last year. You know, last year they had Kiana Williams, which was just a superstar WNBA draft pick, point guard, that when things went sideways for them, she was able to save the day. And you saw, I think actually Texas game in Palo Alto was a perfect example of that. Stanford was still trying to figure out who was going to fill that void. And you know, Tara's the GOAT, and she figured it out. And now they're firing on all cylinders, and because they don't have that superstar point guard in Kiana Williams, they're more of a balanced attack, which makes them even harder to defend. So I mean, I don't know how many games they've won in a row, 20-something. And our league is good, and for them to go undefeated in it says something. So if it ends up being Texas-Stanford, that's going to be a great game. But my hypothetical money's on Stanford. Just got to, like, you know, Pac-12.
All right, I think that will do it for our questions for Coach Roberts. Coach, we really enjoyed watching your team this week. Congratulations again
Thank
on the
you.
great successes that you've had this year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Coach.
you all being here. I really do. Thanks.